Welcome to the New Holland podcast session here at Agritechnica 2025. I'm Dakota Walker from the North American Brand Communications team. And here with me today, I have Jordan Cambites out of Canada. So, Jordan, tell me a little bit about yourself and your farm and like where you're located and what you grow.
Yeah, hello, Jordan Cambites here. Thanks for having me. We're a 80,000 acre cash crop operation in Saskatchewan, Canada, near the city of Regina. It's about 2 hours north of the U.S. border. We primarily grow grains, oil seeds, and pulses. And our family came from German roots in 1899 to Saskatchewan, and we're farming the current homestead today.
Nice. That's really exciting. So you said you're fifth generation, right?
Yes.
So tell me a little bit like about your family legacy. Like, has farming always been in your family? Like, where did your operation start and compared to where you guys are at today?
In the late 1800s, I think it was a quest upon the arrival to Canada. It was a quest of survival and, the thought of a better life. And, I think initially would have started with surviving the first night to the first season to the first year. And each generation that went by, it became more about creating a business and creating the legacy that we're at today. And it's something I hope to carry on for the next generation as well.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, so continuing this legacy really means a lot to you. So what does your typical day look like for you? Do you have any like favorite moments or?
Yeah, a typical day for me usually starts in the office. Depending on the time of the season, it may start at the field, but I try and get out to the field as much as I can. For me, that's where the passion started. And although our operation has evolved and there's a lot of work that needs to be done behind the desk, it's still a break for me is getting out to the field. And that's where my heart is for sure.
Yeah, so that's something that you always look forward to, is getting out of the office work and
Yeah,
getting back out into the field.
absolutely.
Yeah, I can totally understand that. So what's the hardest part of farming that some people may not see or realize?
I mean, there's a lot of challenges. I think some obvious ones would be weather. It's tough. I talk to my leadership team about it all the time. We can execute perfectly, have the best plan with the best intent, and the outcome can be challenged significantly based on Mother Nature's and the weather gods, I suppose. Another big one for us from a challenge standpoint is the geopolitical challenges that we're faced. I mean, we're in such a globalized economy right now, especially in agriculture. And ultimately, we're at the risk of the latest tweet or the latest news headline from a commodity price standpoint and often from a policy standpoint. So those would be some of the challenges that we have to face on a day-to-day basis for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And I feel like a lot of people aren't, keeping their pulse on, things like policy changes and things like that, like farmers have to as much.
Absolutely.
Let's talk a little bit about technology and new tech, something that I know you are probably very familiar with, given the size of your operation. So, what's the most game-changing technology that you've adopted in the recent years?
For us, it's been the IntelliSense automation platform on the combines. I believe it's the sixth year it's been out. It's taken us several years to get full adoption from our team, but we're seeing massive increases in performance overall from operator to operator on our combine team. And we're finding that the deviation between our best and our least productive operator has really tightened up. And that's our goal is as a team to really tighten up the performance and consistency from operator to operator. And for us, that equates to efficiency and helps our bottom line at the end of the day.
Yeah. So, can you elaborate a little bit more on like what IntelliSense on the New Holland combines means and how that's helping you increase your efficiency?
Yeah, so the IntelliSense automation, it's a series of sensors powered by AI and various algorithms behind the scenes that are sensing and continually adjusting the combine. I think it's several 100 million different parameters
Wow.
that can be tuned into the machine. It takes a lot of the guesswork and calibration out of the hands of the operator and allows the operator to focus on what's coming ahead and helping just fine tune that automation. And then for us, it's being able to measure and monitor that behind the scenes remotely. So we can watch what's happening with the performance of that machine, how it's behaving, and from a predictive analysis standpoint, understand, what we're going to be completing for acres per day, per week, and for the balance of the season, and really helps us plan.
Yeah, it gives you a much better outlook. Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome. What excites you the most about the future of agriculture?
For me, it's technology and the next generation. Whether whatever side of the business you're on in agriculture, we're finding as it's growing and scaled, there's room for all sorts of skill sets now. It was only a couple generations ago, I felt like what made a good farmer was someone that could work hard, was strong, and could fix anything. And now it's a home for many different skill sets.
Yeah, it's a team effort.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a team approach, it's a team effort. I find that the next generation is well positioned for embracing the technology as well. The advancements of the tech are coming fast, and we need the young, bright minds to be able to adopt that, absorb it, and deploy it. And so I'm really excited to see the next generation coming on.
Yeah. Well, and you're fifth generation yourself. So are you
Mhm.
hoping that, your kids are going to follow in your footsteps?
I mean, absolutely. Ultimately, they'll be and do what they're going to do. But we're certainly creating a platform where they'll have a landing spot, in some capacity if they wish. And I think another big part of it is, especially in Canada, a lot of the post-secondary schools are starting to put more of an emphasis and focus on agriculture. So I think there's more options now for people that perhaps don't have an ag background but are maybe interested in the space. So, I'm really excited for the industry as a whole, for the next crop of young up and comers in the ag space to really move the needle.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I know definitely being here at Agritechnica, you see a lot of kids around here, surprisingly.
Hmm.
And it's really been exciting, walking around the show these last few days, seeing how excited families are and how excited these kids are.
Hmm.
So that I agree with you. That is kind of, a good feeling that we have a future that we can plan in. So let's talk about like maybe some life lessons. You know, Growing up, we all have life lessons. So what's one lesson that farming has taught you that can just apply to life in general? Like maybe something that you teach your kids too on the farm.
I think it's perhaps a bit of a cliche statement, but you get out what you put in. I always talk about how our soil is our factory, and but it goes beyond that. I think how we treat the land, how we treat the people that we work with, not only our own team but our industry partners. We want to give 110% all the time, and it's so rewarding to reap the benefits on the back end. And I tell our team all the time, there's no other business like agriculture. I mean, we put a seed in the ground, and 110 days later, 100 days later, depending on the crop, we're harvesting it. And we got to look after it through that period and really reap the reward.
Yeah, it teaches you a lot of patience.
It does,
Yeah.
yeah. And so that'd be one of the lessons. For sure that I talk to my kids about and a lot of my peers. And I think one other quick one, if I can, is get out of your box. Get out, explore, meet other people that farm in other jurisdictions, other countries, states, provinces. See how other people are doing it. I find often we're stuck in the pattern of how we used to do it, whether that's how our parents taught us or grandparents. The industry's evolving quick. You got to stay up to speed on the new
Yeah.
technology that's coming, new processes, new methods. and challenge the status quo.
Yeah, yeah, you got to adapt to change quickly, otherwise, you know, you're gonna get surpassed.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah, you can. It's easy to kind of lose your way in this industry too. I think you
Yes.
got to stay on top of trends, on
Hmm.
top of policy changes, like we said. Yeah, no, that's great advice. If somebody, like you said, not coming from a farming background, wanted to get into farming, what would be like your first point of advice for them?
I think, learn. Find a mentor in the industry that is a key pillar or player in the respective part of agriculture that you want to be a part of. Learn as much as you can from that person. I think there's lots of post secondary opportunities to those that want to put the time in to learn more, whether it's the basics of agriculture, whether it's more detailed on, agronomic side of it or the science side. But there's certainly a lot of smart people in the industry and a lot of smart people that want to share their learnings. And there's no quicker way to gain experience than that.
Right, exactly. Like you said before, it's a real team effort. And I think people in this industry take a lot of pride in their work, and they are always so quick to answer questions. People love talking about what it is that they do or new things that they learn.
Hmm.
Definitely, sharing a lot of information between different practices. So, kind of on that similar topic, what's something about farming that most people may not know, but they probably should know about? Is there any like fun facts that you have?
Yeah, I think I laugh at this one because I get it all the time. We finished harvest recently, and I get asked this all the time about, so what do you do in the winter?
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, especially in Canada.
especially in Canada. Yeah, I mean, the snow flies. In fact, we have snow on the ground as we speak, and I'm at the hockey rink watching my kids, or chasing them around to different activities, and it's the same question or comment all the time, like, what do you guys do with all your time in the winter? And I think the answer is the business and the industry's evolved, and it's a 365 year-round job. We're planning, we're processing our results from the prior year, we're budgeting, purchasing, selling, managing new trends, doing a lot of learning sessions with our staff, attending seminars, focus groups, trade shows.
Coming to Agritechnica.
Yeah, coming to Agritechnica, and just trying to get prepared to do it all over again next year. We only
Yeah,
get one business cycle a year, so preparation is key.
yeah.
And preparing not only the equipment and our fields, but the plan with our team and getting them on side to start over.
Yeah, yeah. It's half the battle is getting, your people on the same page as you and getting them ready and amped up for another harvest season.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
that's totally understandable. Well, that's awesome.
Hmm.
Well, I think those are all of the questions that I have for you. I really appreciate you stopping by the booth today and taking the time to speak with us.
Hmm.
And hopefully, we'll see you again in a few years and
Yeah.
wish you a great harvest next year.
Thanks for having us. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.